I'm Jess, welcome back to our channel. In today's video, it's all about decorating for Halloween. So all of these projects are made with items that I found at the Dollar Tree or the thrift store and a little bit of Sally Tomato items in there. And it's all to decorate your entry for the holidays. So some of the projects are a little spooky, some are more cute and fall inspired. So I hope you enjoy the projects. Let's get started.
For this first project, we're going to be making a crystal ball, and I was so excited to find this plastic ornament at the Dollar Tree. It was the perfect size, and being plastic, it's a little bit more kid-friendly. I also picked up this glass candle holder at the thrift store. It was only 79 cents. They do have them at the Dollar Tree, but I love repurposing and recycling if I'm able to. Next, I found these palm bones at the Dollar Tree. I thought it would be really cool to put these around the base of the crystal ball. To create the mirror effect, you'll need some Rust-Oleum mirror effect spray paint and also a spray bottle filled with 2 parts vinegar, 1 part water. I also grabbed some Rust-Oleum Ultra Matte Black spray paint and spray painted the candle holder. So first I removed the top of the ornament, then I placed a fork and a piece of styrofoam in hopes to hold up my ball so I could paint all the way around. It was really windy the day that I did this, so it didn't work out too well, but I'd suggest something a little bit more stable in the center to hold it up. Start by lightly misting the glass ball with your vinegar mixture. Then you'll want to make sure to shake the can of spray paint really well, and while the ball is still wet, you'll want to mist it again with your vinegar mixture, and this will start to create that mercury glass effect. You can experiment spraying closer or further away for different size droplets and a different effect, and then you can spray it again with the spray paint. You'll want to take a paper towel and just very lightly blot some of the vinegar droplets away, and this will add an aged look to the paint. So you can continue to alternate the paint, vinegar, and the blotting, and then allow it to dry. If you do have a clear coat, I do recommend spraying a clear coat just to protect the paint. So I was really hoping that the top of the ornament would fit inside the candle holder, but I didn't get that lucky. So keep that in mind when you're looking for candle holders. I'm going to end up just gluing mine in place with some Loctite, and I think it'll be fine. Otherwise, I do have another option for you. I found a 6-pack of these mini cups at the Dollar Tree, and you only need one, so you could save the rest for another project. If I were going to use this option, I would spray paint 1 cup black to match the candle holder and look like it's part of the base, and then just simply glue the crystal ball to the top of the base with some Loctite glue. So I'm going to show you the second option. First, I spray painted a piece of styrofoam black, then added some hot glue inside the candle holder and glued the styrofoam in place. Next, I took some Loctite and added it around the rim of the ornament. I did also add a little bit of hot glue so that way it would quickly set in place. I held the crystal ball on top of the candle holder while the glue dried. Next, I took my bones, and these I think are meant for garland or other type of projects where they're strung on, and I did not want that little piece on the end, so I took a pair of scissors and just cut it off. I did want the fingers to kind of form around the crystal ball, so I just bent the plastic a little bit, and then I added a generous amount of hot glue and positioned it on the crystal ball. Then continue to add hands all the way around. Even after adding the hands, you can still see part of the ornament. So option 1, you could take a piece of twine and hot glue it around the base of the ornament, or you could take a scrap of faux leather, cork fabric, or another fabric that doesn't fray and cut a small strip to wrap around the base and hot glue it in place. And here is how it turned out styled in my entryway. I really love styling with old books. I chose a few of my vintage books from my Nancy Drew collection, which I thought were very fitting for this mysterious time of year. I also styled this crystal ball with my designer dupe Candelabra, made with items from the Dollar Tree. If you're interested in seeing a tutorial on this, let me know in the comments. I will be posting a tutorial coming this winter. I also styled with another designer decor hack. I love this matte black bowl for putting filler in, beads, or if you take the filler out, it's great for throwing in your keys. This particular bowl I filled with pumpkins that I found at the Dollar Tree, and I think this display turned out really cute with the wall bats in the background. Definitely check out my other video on project ideas and decor ideas for using our new bat template. Now we're ready for the next project. Dollar Tree has tons of bones and skeletons out for Halloween this year. I grabbed one of the larger skeletons and headed to the thrift shop. I found a tall glass vase for only 79 cents. They have these at the Dollar Tree too, but I love to recycle when I can. And a quick tip to get off those labels from the glass cleanly, I just have a damp paper towel and place it over the label and pat it down, and then set it aside to soak. Next, we're going to remove some of the bones from the skeleton. So this was very strange for me to do, but you do want to take apart the skeleton. This was a bride and groom skeleton, so I removed the tool from the top of the head and the bow from the chest. I used our precision cutter to help scrape off some of that hot glue along the top of the head, but later I realized this wasn't really necessary because I had another idea to cover that up. Now that your label has been soaking for a while, you should be able to just peel it off cleanly. I also grabbed these rocks from the Dollar Tree. I liked the color and the size of them, but you could certainly just find some from outside and place a couple handfuls of rocks in the bottom of the vase. Then add some moss to the vase. I found this large bag at the Dollar Tree so I can use it for multiple projects. Next, add the rib cage. Gosh, that sounds so weird. Then I added one of the arms so you could see the hands through the glass, and then the head on top, and another arm. I decided not to use the legs. I have another idea for those, which I'm going to save for another video. Before I added the skull, I decided to add some hot glue around the top of the skull and then place some moss on top, and that helped hide the previous hot glue marks from before. So then place the skull inside the vase, and you can add as much or as little moss as you like around. I wanted mine to look really overgrown and old, so I added the moss where I thought it looked nice. Next, I wanted to create a lid for the vase. Look around your house for old canisters or perhaps candle lids and see if you can repurpose something to fit on the vase. I didn't have anything at home. I had a few things that were close. However, I wanted to show you an option to create your own lid. So I found these wooden discs, a pack of 6 at Walmart for $1.29. And then I also grabbed some scraps of faux leather. The wood discs fit perfectly inside the vase, so I needed a top that was a little bit larger than the wood discs, so that way the lid wouldn't move around and it would stay on top of the vase. So first I need to cut some circles out of my faux leather scraps. I'm using an Olfa circle cutter, so I set the distance from the pin to the blade as half the diameter of the circle that I wanted to cut. Then I cut out 2 circles. I also took a piece of heavy stabilizer and cut a circle that was 1/4 inch narrower than the outer diameter of the 2 fabric pieces. Then I layered the heavy stabilizer in between the wrong side layers of the fabric. I hot glued 2 wooden discs together, and then I took them outside and spray painted them matte black. You could certainly glue the layers of the lid together, but I decided to stitch them at the sewing machine to make sure that the raw edge of the heavy stabilizer was concealed. I decided I wanted to add a little handle at the top. First, I took a rotary punch to punch a small hole in the center of the lid. Next, I took Sally Tomato tall stud buttons in antique and just take 1 post and 1 screw and screw the stud in place through the hole. And the last step to complete the lid is to add a generous amount of glue to one side of the wooden pieces and add it to the underside of the lid. I think this DIY project was a success. Again, I styled the vase on top of a stack of Nancy Drew mystery books, which I found at the thrift store. Next to the skeleton terrarium, I placed the bat terrarium, which I created in a previous video, so if you haven't checked that out yet, definitely go see how to make that. Again, I just wanted to touch on the bat wall decor. I think this is a great feature that draws your eye up and around the mirror. It adds contrast, texture, and it's just super fun for kids. I added double-sided tape to the wrong side of each bat to stick it to the wall, and it's safe for the paint, so it won't peel it off when I take them down. You can download the free template on our website or purchase pre-cut bats so they're ready for you to decorate with. Also on my entry table, I styled a few more things to just complete the look. I added a thrifted basket, which I'm using as a tray, and inside the tray, I added a faux pottery vase. This will be an upcoming project. I'm super excited to share the before and after of this project with you. I also added this twine canister, which is another upcoming project on our channel. The last project I want to share with you is a little less spooky. Head on over to the Dollar Tree. They have tons of fall florals. I grabbed the most realistic looking ones, which I think is key for making your projects look high end. You'll also want to grab some picture frames, 2 5x7s and 2 4x4s. For this project, you'll also need 2 wooden trays and a pack of floral foam, which can all be found at the Dollar Tree. All these items are going to be turned into a fall plant stand. I'm also using some Rust-Oleum flat black spray paint, and I grabbed some wood stain that I had at home. Start by removing the backs and the glass from the picture frames. I also took a pliers and carefully pulled out the pieces that hold the back of the frame in. And I know that these frames are already black, but I wanted them to match, so I took these outside and gave them a few coats of the black spray paint on both sides. Next, I stained the trays. I just did the outside and any of the areas that would be seen. And please note that I should have been wearing gloves. If you're doing this project and working with stain, you'll definitely want gloves on. Next, I took the florals and I cut them so that way each of the stems was about 2 or 3 inches long, and I set the remaining aside for another project. After everything's dry, we're ready to assemble the plant stand. Start by adding some glue to one side of one 4x4 frame along the inside of the frame. Then center the frame along one long side of the tray, and repeat for the other 4x4 frame and adhere it to the opposite side of that same tray. I added some extra glue. I definitely recommend adding some Loctite glue. On the other tray, I added a length of glue along the center and centered one side of the frame over the glue. You'll want to hold it down for a little bit while the glue dries. Then you'll add the last frame to the other side of that same tray. Now that you have the frames attached, you can decide where you want each of the trays positioned. If you want the short one along the right hand side or the left hand side, however you want it. And then I glued the frames together side by side. I thought this looked the best, but you could certainly do front to back. I've already went ahead and arranged my floral and greenery in 2 of the foam floral pieces, and then I placed each in one tray. I really like how this DIY turned out. It's not as sturdy as I had hoped, but I think this could be really fun to put at the corner of a piece of furniture or at an entry table or even as a centerpiece. This will be fun for weddings. You could switch out the florals and greenery for the different seasons. It's minimalist looking, it's boho, it's chic, it's fun. I do wish that I would have painted the foam before I put the floral pieces in because you can see it through the sides of the tray. So either paint or adding some moss might help cover that up and make it look a little bit more professional.
Thanks so much for watching this tutorial. Let us know if you're liking these videos and want to see more Dollar Tree hacks and thrift store DIY projects. I know that I'm enjoying making them for you, and I hope that you'll share photos if you decide to make them with #SallyTomato, and that you've been inspired to create some of your own fall and Halloween decor. I'll see you in the next video.